Hello, and thank you for stopping by the Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube. I am Thomas Mel 75, and we have live with us today Michael Komoraff from Brooklyn, New York. And what are we reviewing today, Michael?
We're reviewing from Zywiec Brewing in Poland, their porter going back to 1881. It says it right on the label.
Excellent. And so here's what I've done. I've started the review on the desktop, and I've joined up on the review on my tablet because for whatever reason in Google Plus does not let you actually broadcast live on your tablet, but you can certainly join on a tablet. So that's exactly what I might have mine come in on this review, but that is why I'm a little jumbled here, but that's okay. Owned by Heineken International, is that correct?
That's correct, and it's been with them for a really long time.
I've had the beer, sorry about that. I had the beer once. I think this was $2.49 at my local store. That's pretty close to where I live, so I don't find that the price on this beer is all that terrible, which is nice about that.
And it's 16.9 ounces, so it's a little bit bigger than a pint, you know, your pounder type can. Is Dave going to join us?
Well, my buddy Dave is probably gonna. I did buy him a bottle of the beer. He probably will come over live on my side of the review and join us. But in case not, let's get going anyway. What does it say on the bottle? It says.
I'm going to open mine.
It says yeah, exactly. It says the porter beer. I'm looking at the neck of the bottle. The porter beer recipe is the network is the network. I can't even read this.
Let's see.
The porter beer recipe, the network of the masters of the Zywiec School of Brewing, who worked. Okay, I can't even read all these words.
Okay. I am back.
All right, let me try the bottom, the front of the bottle. A lot of words I cannot read the foliage of. Dark porter type beer was brewed in Zywiec as early as 1881. It owes its intense color and clear flavor to four types of malt. 1856, but it says 1881. So the beer must have come out in 1881, but they started in 86.
Right. So they have you showed me that you took something off their website where it had both this and their regular beer. It's probably their regular beer was brewed in 1856.
Yeah, they have a pale lager. They have a pale Euro style. Look at this beer in some light. I don't think that it's a dark color. I think it's a very dark ruby red type of a color that I'm noticing with a somewhat of a aggressive looking off-white khaki looking head.
Yeah, I'm giving my pour now.
Okay.
I'm in my Amagon Game of Thrones.
Excellent. How would you assess the head on this beer?
It's almost like kind of a rocky kind of head, a little bit rocky, a lot of bubbles.
Yeah.
And it's tan. And the color is almost opaque to the light, but you can still see through it, so it's not totally opaque.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I agree with that statement entirely. For sure.
And it has very nice lacing on the side.
Yeah, I have the Teku, so I'm getting just a little bit of the lacing from the rim of the glass, but I think as I go down, it's going to have even greater lacing. But the nose is
the head is holding up very.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not fading.
Yep. No, not at all. I'm really liking I'm really liking the scent on that beer. I got mine. I had mine in the freezer for an hour after I got it off the beer shelf, so it's cool, but it's not ice cold.
Are you getting those nice roasty malty?
It's very, to me, it's very, very, very dark. Yeah, I'm getting all of that. I'm getting a nice dark chocolate note, and then dark chocolate note is where I get your roasted malts that you're talking about.
Yes,
and I definitely get a lactic kind of a sweetness, but not over the top, and definitely some kind of a plum fig or like a raisiny note. What else would you say about that?
Yeah, and like maybe even a little faint.
Anything else to add to the nose
as well? But it's faint. It's not the lead.
Yeah.
It's not the lead smell.
It's not a very giant or overly complex nose, but it certainly smells inviting, and it doesn't have any alcohol presence at 9.5 in the nose right now.
9.5, so you'd think you might get some alcohol in there.
Yeah, I get none. I get maybe
either.
Maybe. No, you know what? I gotta be honest. I'm not getting any of that, and I've had it once. But let's refresh my memory on how it tastes.
Are you ready?
Cheers. I'm calling it Zywiec.
Okay,
call it however you want.
Whatever.
Cheers. Cheers, bitches. Let's go. Wow.
That's really nice.
$2.49. That's pretty good beer for that price. I'm getting an upfront burst of that, really somewhere between a roasty and a smoky note almost. A light smokiness, but there's a lot of roasted malt character in there. Not a whole bunch of hops, but I think there is some just for the balancing purposes that I'm tasting.
You're getting some of the dark fruit that you smelled in the nose as well.
Absolutely.
I mean,
it's a chewy. I'm not saying it's a huge tasting beer, but at that same regard, it does have a minimal amount of chewiness. I can't say that I would still call it a straight up medium bodied beer. I wouldn't call it a full bodied beer, even despite its alcohol percentage. It's definitely full flavored for sure. And it's minimally sort of chewy. It does have some tannins, but not a huge amount of them to me. For what it is that I'm tasting, I'm surprised that it's even 9.5.
So the alcohol is very well hidden. This would be one that would be very dangerous because as you're drinking it, you're not getting it in your mouth at all, the alcohol.
I'm getting more of, I don't want to say it's overly grainy, but I'm getting more of either like an oaty note, like an oaty flavor or a grainy complexion somewhere beneath that chocolate and somewhere beneath that dark fruited quality is where the graininess or the oaty kind of a texture to it is.
Yeah, the consistency is kind of interesting when you get past your first taste and, the underlying notes. I'm getting that too. But it's not a bad thing. It's just kind of like an overall taste profile thing.
Yeah, as our buddy from, I don't know if you watch his channel, but I say as our buddy from Australia, maybe this would change as it warms up, but as of right now, as our buddy in Australia, Swillengrog would say, it's holding that taste profile we're mentioning here that I'm talking about, at least for me, it's holding that taste profile. It's not overly complex, nor is it doing a lot of different things, in the taste that are changing over time. I think maybe when it warms up, there might be a lot of carbonation. There might be a little bit more subtleties to the beer. It might actually smooth out just a little bit. But speaking of that carbonation, I would say that it is fairly clean. It is pretty crisp, I would say. There's a nice zip of carbonation on the tongue for me.
And if you take a look at how the bubbles are coming up, there is active carbonation in the beer.
Yeah, that's maybe one of the only parts that I don't really like as much. I think they could have used less, but it's still pretty good. But what I say, I would say that this is pretty. Yeah, I would say that this is pretty clean after a little while. And I would say it's like semi-sweet, but not overly sweet in the finish. Yeah, there's a lot of crispness to it. Is it refreshing? I don't really know that you could call it refreshing, but in the grand scheme of it being a 9.5% beer, why not call it refreshing for what it is?
Right. And the sweetness itself is there, but it doesn't ever get to be cloying sweetness. So it's not like you could say, hey, this is so sweet, I can't take it.
You know what I really think is, I don't know what more to say before I go any further. Do you have anything else to add about the flavor or the texture or the body or the mouthfeel or any aspect about the beer?
I like the way it holds together. And the point you made before, for the price point that this beer is at, you're getting a lot of beer for your dollar. I mean, there's no question about it. Because, you know, if you take a look at a lot of the porters and the stouts that you buy in bomber bottles, a little bit more than this, you know, they could be $7, $8, $10, and they're not necessarily better. They're different. So this is a good price point beer.
Yeah, I think what I was going to say here is before I get to my rating or come to my conclusion on a rating here, is I think this is a good beer to choose if you've never, well, I mean, it's 9.5, so make sure that if you're going to be driving later, you're taking an hour or 2 or 3 and waiting to drive. Have a little bit of water in between this one and the next beer if you must have another beer. But I think for me, if you've never had, here's my recommendation. If you've never had an Imperial dark beer, whether it be a porter, whether it be a stout, hell, whether it be a Belgian dark strong ale or a quadruple beer, I think this is, in taste profile, I think this is a pretty safe one to try to choose for your first one. I mean, yeah, it's a little scary at being 9.5 and it only having trace hints of it being 9.5, but I think if you are a virgin into the Imperial styles of darker beers, not IPAs, they're different flavor profile altogether, sure. And barley wines, but if you want to try a good, inexpensive dark Imperial beer for your first time, this is Zywiec would be a really good choice to have.
So you're
now I'm going to take another sip of this beer.
Go ahead. And I'm going to say, so
I'm going to take another sip of this beer, and while you say what's on your mind, I'm going to think about what I would rate this beer.
Okay, so I'm with you that this is an excellent entry beer for people just getting into any of these levels of dark, more Imperial style beers. And
regardless too,
that can also be an Imperial brown ale as well, or any of those styles. So this one is a good entry one. The fact that it's imported by Heineken means it gets a lot of distribution across the United States, so it's easy to find.
Yeah, it says imported. Actually, it's imported in your neck of the woods. It says imported by Heineken International of NY Corp, Brooklyn, New York, 11222.
Yeah, the distribution here is all over the place. You can get this in a lot of
that's pretty cool.
Now, I notice on the back of mine, look at the back of your label in the red. My best before date is 12/2, February 12th, which is my birthday, next year, 2008.
Yeah, mine exactly is reading that.
Okay, so I think what happens is they make a mass distribution of those same buy dates, knowing they're good until next year. I have the same exact one that you do. And it's spread through Metro, you know, the whole New York area, probably as well as the greater Boston area too.
Yeah, we got to have our beers for our region. I don't know how the distribution and the district sales or however that goes, but we have to use the same regional sales managers or sales reps that are in charge of this beer, because we're getting the same exact beer from the same exact best by date, and we have to, or best before date. And I bet if we could decipher these lot codes, ours would be practically identical and probably coming off the same, probably coming from the brewery at the same exact time.
Take a look at yours. Mine is L62-266-16B 2016.
The only difference is mine is at the end 2054.
Okay, so they're at a different lots, but it was brewed at the same time.
I got to assume that means we're at the exact same lot, but our bottles are just individually numbered. Your bottle is yours was put into the bottle probably just before mine was. That's how I interpret that.
Right.
Our bottle, we were being bottled at the same exact time frame, if you ask me.
It was
so
on the same
that's kind of cool in a way.
The same bottling run.
Yeah.
Mine was completed before yours was by, 3 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever.
By who knows how much. I don't know how they do this, but so yeah. Going back to what I was going to say, I took that final sip. What final sip? I took some sips here and kind of formulate my ratings and opinions. But where do you think you stand on this beer? Now, I kind of like to do letter gradings and out of 100, but however you want to review and give a rating, go ahead.
When Jay's discussed his trip to Brooklyn, I try to break him of his letter grade because what was happening is he was giving everything A or A plus, and there was no way to determine which one he liked better because of that. He wouldn't do it. He just, I had to just pick numbers for him, and that's it. So I've been using number grades, and I guess I would give this like a B plus rating if it was in letter grade, maybe an 89, an 89 in the numbers to 100.
Yeah. That would be where my in the number rating system.
What do you think?
Now, so for me, the A range and anything 90 and above would make it a world class. Go out and get it now, almost kind of a beer. What do you think prevents you from wanting to give it a 90 or above?
I think the reason I'm not going there is what you said earlier. It's a together beer, but it's nothing astounding.
Okay, but it's still high up on the list of highly recommended.
90. I may be willing to go to 90, but I wouldn't go higher than that.
Yeah. I would definitely understand why people would go that high. You know what? I gotta give it that. I gotta give it. It seems like a lot of beers to me are highly above average, but not in that world-class category quite yet. I'm sort of torn between wanting to put this beer in a world-class category and not wanting to do it that much. So maybe 89 is actually perfectly rated for this beer, an 89 B+. I think this is stupidly drinkable. It's got a stupid ABV on it at 9.5, and it's stupidly drinkable. How can that not give it at least some props? And then you're drinking a 9 point. And so put it in perspective, all of you malt liquor beer drinkers. Boy, this is a little smaller. You know where I'm going.
I got it.
This is a little smaller of a bottle. It's not 40 ounces. This is your kind of a standard, a little bit more than a standard American pint at 500 milliliters beer at $2, at least in my area, $2.49 at 9.5%. And you can not have to drink extra ounces of nasty malt liquor, and you can get a better drinking experience and get, I guess, a greater effect out of your beer. And I think you're going to have a better, I think you would have a better time doing it. And to be completely honest, I think this is a great time of year into the late fall, early winter here. This is a great time to drink a beer like this. So for me to not give it a 9 or above, interested as that warms up a little bit. It is a tiny bit chalky there towards the end, not bad. But I think the only thing that I really could fault the beer for, like I said earlier, was I think it's a little bit for my liking, and there's just a little bit of a grain, everything that I'm not fond about, but I'm at that point with the graininess. I think this is a stupid for what it is, and it's if you get these beers, the Zywiec, Zywiec, I think it's USA.com. They have a store locator, and you can find out exactly where any of their beers and this 1881 porter are in your area of the United States. You can go and find it. So at $2.49, it's stupid that you don't buy this beer. So I think we're gonna just average that one out, as we both have given it, an 89. It's pretty fantastic beer, and I would recommend that to anybody that likes dark beers or anybody that doesn't even know they like an imperial beer. So
I think that
that's going to
also,
be my thoughts on that. Where are you going? What's your final thoughts?
I'm with you on the 89, and I discovered with this one that Poland can be a good producer of a dark beer, because in the past, all I've ever seen is their, I guess you'd call the Euro lagers. I guess that's mostly what they make.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember here now that you said that. There was a beer. I don't remember if it was from Poland. I don't remember if it was from. I don't think it was their pale lager. There was another one. There was an it was Warka Strong. I think I did a review of that.
That definitely.
I don't know if you ever had Warka Strong.
That's definitely Polish, but was that dark? I think that wasn't that.
No, it was,
that was an
no.
amber, wasn't it?
No, I think technically, and the beer advocate definition, I think technically it was a Euro Dark Strong Ale. Oof. It was a rough drinking beer. It basically reminded me of everything that was bad about an American malt liquor, plus the addition of sugar and melted butter.
Okay, so that's not one you revisited. When you find one like that.
I think if you wanted to get that style of beer, Carlsberg Elephant is by far a better choice.
Right, because that at least goes down easy.
Yeah, and I love, for some reasoning, I love Carlsberg, just the normal green bottle of beer. If I could just drink one pale lager for the rest of my life, the Carlsberg, and I couldn't tell you why that is. I just find it delicious. Even if it has been like a Heineken product slightly aged in the green bottle, I still think it's a good, inexpensive, it's sort of inexpensive beer. Now, probably if you want an import beer, not really too expensive, probably not a bad place to go. I think if you're trying to get pint bottles of beer, you could almost do no better besides this one. You could almost do no better than a lot of the wine Stefaner beers. They are stupidly cheap as well. And they're some of the highest rated beers for their styles in the world.
Hopefully people will see this on your channel and they'll give it a shot, because for the price and for what you're getting, it's an excellent value.
That's what I'm saying. So unless you have anything else to add, I'm going to say this is an excellent beer, and I would recommend this to everybody.
I would too.
Do you have anything else to add?
More of it if I could get it, and I can get it. Make sure you say hi to Dave for me.
I will. I have to go all the way up 2 flights of stairs to end the video review. So I'm going to go up and terminate this video. And as I say on my beer review channel, I say thank you, Michael Komoraff. I say thank you for the idea, and finally I got the beer. And as I say until next time, keep tasting those great beers. Cheers.
Okay, we'll do another one soon.
We'll see you soon. Let me go up 2 flights of stairs and terminate this video.
Take care.
I will be back. I didn't even look at the chat if we had one, so I apologize on that.